Welcome back, everybody, to the Board YouTube channel for your Friday pick and roll live stream. We're here today trying to finish the week with some winning picks, and also we're going to be going through the entire NBA slate as normal, going through the bets that Pips may have on that game, perhaps I may have on some of the games, and then we'll go to the Q&A to hear questions from you after that, and perhaps that will inform some additional bets to put on the show today. And it's not been the best of starts to the season, definitely not been the worst of starts to the season either. We've been finding some really good positions. It was a 1-1 day yesterday for a slight negative on the day, but consistently finding good positions. Maybe not with the way things shaked out with Damian Lillard yesterday. So definitely, it's time to get on board with the show. Back-to-back profitable seasons, and with the positions getting found nice and early here, it seems like we're on track to do so again this season. So please make sure you drop a like if you enjoy this show, and also subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Let's get started with the recap of the previous show's picks. Let's start with the winner. We had a winner in the Suns game against the Clippers. We had Norman Powell over 14 or 15 plus points, and we also had the Phoenix Suns money line. It was a winner. It did not look like it would be a winner at halftime when the Suns were down by 18 points. But what changed in the second half for the Phoenix Suns to get over the line here?
Yeah, they started moving the ball better, not trying to hunt some mismatches. So I think wild stuff, but they made 15 straight field goals to start the third quarter, like 15 out of 15, yeah. And the next three that they missed were wide open threes. So yeah, yeah. I mean, when team is playing on back to back, they usually when the things start to get rough is middle of the third quarter and so on, when the legs got tired. And yeah, the when Harden like sits, this team doesn't have any offense, so it was rough for them. But yeah.
You texted me yesterday to remind you to, I'll read it out specifically. Remind me to shit on Nurkic on the show tomorrow. Here is your reminder to talk about Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, that was the first half. At the halftime, and they were down like 18. He was disastrous on both sides of the court. Like the sloppy turnovers, poor defense, out of position, like terrible stuff. Like one of the worst halves of center, and he kind of was way better in the second half. So, but overall, Suns are in trouble because their starting center is Nurkic. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I was
yeah,
actually about
yeah.
to say, surely a team that has invested so much of their resources and is investing so much money into this team with the likes of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, surely at some point this season, the center position needs to be addressed because Yusuf Nurkic is not good enough to be involved with a team that wants to go all the way and win an NBA championship. I don't really know what that looks like for the Suns, but surely the center position needs to be addressed at some point over the course of the season. We also had another play here, which was the losing play on Damian Lillard. Before we jump into that losing play, just wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's show and every show over the course of the season, the FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a fantastic offer that you should be taking advantage of with the NBA back at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. They want you to catch all the action. Right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do to catch every tip-off and buzzer beaters, place any $5 bet on the NBA. And with picks coming from this show all around the National Basketball Association, you're going to be wanting to using this offer to sweat out the picks live that we have on the show just to add on to the excitement. On top of this, for a limited time, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. So next time you get a hunch on who's going to win or how many points, how many rebounds, how many assists, or for the purpose of this show, a lot of times it comes up in the chat, how many threes a player will make, bet it on FanDuel and watch your picks come to life live with League Pass. You visit FanDuel.com/sport to get 3 months of NBA League Pass courtesy of FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. After 3 months free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel any time, no refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right, Damian Lillard. Somebody in the chat mentioned can't predict an all-time bad game from Damian Lillard. That was BRB in the chat. It wasn't necessarily predicting an all-time bad game for Lillard. It was just predicting who the Memphis Grizzlies were going to care about defensively. And Taylor Jenkins said specifically after the game, I don't think I actually have the tweet saved anywhere, otherwise I'd pull it up. But paraphrasing, he said their entire game plan for the Milwaukee Bucks was stopping Damian Lillard. They dedicated everything to stopping Dame, and it worked. Damian Lillard had a very bad game relative to the box score. Goes 1 of 12, 0 of 6 from 3. Pips was texting me during the game about Scottie Pippen Jr.'s defense, saying Scottie Pippen Jr. looks like his dad out there defending Dame, and judging by the stat line, that was the case. Yeah, what was it about the Memphis Grizzlies defense that was just stifling Dame? What is it about the game plan you think that Taylor Jenkins was thinking Dame is the guy we have to stop?
Yeah, I don't know. They knew that Ide could be a target in deep drops, so they needed to show help on Damian Lillard, which is smart, honestly. When you think about it, you don't want Ide to be the drop cover guy against Damian Lillard, so you want to bring help. Also, the Scottie Pippen, insane defense. He was on the hip all the entire game. He was right there on the hip, glued to him without fouling. Every screen, Giannis or Ortiz or Brook Lopez set, he was right over it. Dame couldn't pull up when he did. Pippen blocked it. He was right there all the time. So and when he was out of position, maybe on a good screen, help came. Nothing seems to work for Damian Lillard, and they honestly, no, zero energy. Lillard looked god awful. He didn't want to be there. He was it looked weird. Zero energy. He wasn't even when Lillard is fired up and when he starts. Yeah, he was he takes a shot, then walks back on defense. Then Giannis waved off Dame asking for the ball 5 times in the game, and the other way around. This team looks like zero chemistry. So
yeah, Doc Rivers, man, it's not looking good. Bucks are 1-4. They've lost to some bad teams, and they're getting blown out by pretty good teams. If this game is any indication, 1-4, man. This is a problem. They've lost to the Nets, they've lost to the Bulls. These are teams that they should comfortably be beating, but they're just not able to do that right now. And the latest, everybody sees the problem with Doc, but for some reason the Bucks don't want to concede to that as of yet. So we'll have to see. But let's go to the games that we have on the slate today. Let's move forward here. Let's go to the FanDuel Sportsbook. Open up the first game of the pretty big slate that we have here. I do see, by the way, a lot of questions coming in from the chat, a lot of bets coming in from the chat. Don't worry, guys. I'm queuing them up and saving them for later. So even if you comment them now, I'll have them queued up, ready to go when we get to the Q&A portion of the stream. So just make sure you send those in, and I'll be keeping track of them all. First game on the board here is the New York Knicks away at the Detroit Pistons. Knicks favored by 6.5 points. Early season, there were some problems a little bit with the Knicks. They seem to be kind of finding their gear a little bit. Over-under for this one, a tad low, 216.5. Just not low for the game, just in relative to the NBA. But we'll get started here, Pips. Any thoughts for this game?
Yeah, I can you go to the points? I think I have a bet for this one. Yeah, he's somehow not up there. But do you know who is missing? Do you notice who is not on the board?
Well, I don't see Carl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, I think that's our bet for today. Honestly,
All right.
like he just put 44 points on Bama to the bio, and Miami Heat defense, who are being kind of like a huge fade for centers for last decade. And now Carlton Towns put 44. I don't think any center put 44 on the Miami Heat over the last decade. I need to check that out, but not even Jokic, not even Embiid, not even AD. Yeah, and he looked great against the Pacers. It was just a blowout.
Yeah.
Anders came against a huge blowout against the Boston and against Towers of Cleveland Cavaliers. So I'm taking his over. I know it will come back to the
It'll come FanDuel eventually.
yeah for FanDuel, but I saw some numbers like minus 120 widely available on over 20 and a half. So I'm going to make that first official bet. Uh, So I'll just go through a quick look from the to the Prof Madness. There is not much there, but I'll need to zoom in just a second.
Yep.
Uh, but I saw so he scores 34% of his points above the break three. They are all above average there, but that's actually way better when you look at the centers. But we don't have it here. But they are putting two on the ball, and centers are getting wide open. So Miles Turner scored 20 points. I think Horford scored like five threes against the Pistons because out of every pick and roll with two on the ball, they are leaving wide open, and that's just way Towns can punish them with shooting. He made four threes against the Miami. So yeah, I think this is perfect matchup. Duran was in foul trouble in the last game. He kind of sucks on defense. I think he's a bit overrated on defense. And yeah, I do think that Towns should be in a great spot tonight for this game.
All right, so the official bet here is Carl Anthony Towns over 20.5 points. There's better than minus 20 of minus 120 available. At least I've confirmed that here, but minus 120 is widely available. So we will make that the official bet and the official price. Again, Carl Anthony Towns over 20 and a half 3 point. Over 23. My goodness, over 20.5 points for the game against the Pistons here today. Keep checking as well because FanDuel will likely bring this one back up. It may even come back before the show ends today. So when we get to the recap, that could be something to look at as well. But let's move to the next game here. Orlando Magic against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Massive blow to the Orlando Magic yesterday. Paolo Banchero is going to miss quite a bit of time with an injury, just as Paolo was really clicking into gear. Like we looked yesterday at the MIP market. He was the favorite to win the award. All of a sudden, potentially not even going to be eligible for that award. So that is a big shame. But in the absence, Cleveland at home, Cleveland have looked very good under Kenny Atkinson. Cleveland 7.5 point favorites here. They are the only 5-0 team in the NBA. Only two teams without a loss in Cleveland and the Thunder. Thunder are 4-0 so far, but a big chance for them to go 6-0 to start the season. How do you think this one looks when they get out there on the court?
Yeah, it's like I think Franz Wagner is also questionable for this game. I'll just need to quick check because that's important. Yeah, Franz Wagner also questionable for this game. If he's out, zero offense for the Orlando Magic. I mean, the Wagner and Banchero are there like by far the best creators and initiators. So without Banchero, this team is very worse. And now, even if like Franz Wagner is out, this could be a blowout. Honestly, like I don't see these Cleveland Cavaliers this season look really good. So we saw what they did to the Lakers, who were playing well
Yeah.
early in the season. So yeah, I think this is like a spot. I think Cleveland can cover this tonight, especially like if we see Wagner out, it will get ugly.
Yeah, Cleveland have been making a fool out of some teams to start this season. You mentioned specifically the Lakers game. They won 134-110. They beat the Wizards by 19. They beat the Pistons by 12. They beat my poor Raptors by 30 points. One thing in particular I'm noticing from Cleveland is that the new coaching staff is getting a lot out of Evan Mobley so far this season. What's been different about his game that potentially you've noticed that's kind of unlocking him to start the season?
It's coaching because stuff was like putting him in the corner, and now they are running sets through him, elbow stuff, post up stuff. He's also got encouraged and some confidence can do a lot for a player. And
Absolutely.
when you notice that player that your coach is like using you more on offense than Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, that probably means something to you, and you want to like to show like should give him something back in return for that trust. So I think Kevin Love is playing really good, but it's most down just because of the coaching. Like it's not that he made some huge leap over the summer. I don't see it. It's just that he's utilized very better on offense, and that means a lot for a player.
Before we go to the next game, as a reminder, if you're enjoying the show, getting some good information, make sure you smash that like button, especially if you're tailing the free picks. All we ask in return is you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, we're live here every weekday morning, 9:45 a.m. Eastern time for shows like this. So subscribe to the channel, help us on the road to 4,000 subs. Boston is up next with the Charlotte Hornets, 10.5-point spread here, 232 on the total. Kind of tough to talk about Celtics games with the spread like this, but anything you're looking at in particular from a matchup perspective?
Not much. Yeah, not much. I don't. I won't even look into this game. Maybe like some quick look, but should be a blowout, but Boston played like crap last game against the Pacers. So is it like okay, we take serious now, or it's another like so much guessing game, huge spread. I don't see the angles. I like Lamelo against the Boston, but if it's a blowout, it's a no go. Huge risk there. So you need to take a look on the unders. I don't like unders in these matchups. So yeah, it's tough spot. So
We got a
I'm
lot of
staying.
games, so it's
Yeah.
fine to speed through a little bit. We'll move on to the next one. The Sacramento Kings against the Hawks. Kings favored by 6 on the road, over under of 237.5. What do your Hawks have to do to sneak out a win in this one?
I don't think they can win this one, honestly. I don't see the
Even you're
tools.
down on the Kings though, you still don't think?
Yeah, Kings kind of look great with Kevin Huerter, which I was completely I completely forgot that he is. Uh,
Were you expecting Keon Ellis to start instead of him?
yeah, but I expected Huerter to come back later. Like he was injured to start the season, so I
Okay.
was completely like out of him. But they ramped up his minutes very quickly, like 20 minutes first game, 33 minutes second game. So he's there and he's shooting well. And now they have him and Keegan Murray. And their offense looked good, defense not great, but so far they didn't have some terrible, difficult matchups, so they looked well. Defensive rating skewed by the game against the Utah Jazz and the last game they played again. So yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, this game should be easy for them. Like I don't know, like this should be easy for them.
Six
They
point
play
spread.
Blazers, and yeah, I think it should be higher. I mean, I
Yeah,
do agree. Like when you have Trey Young, he's an insane floor raiser, like James Harden. But they lost to the Wizards. They were completely blown away from by the Wizards. So yeah, this one not looking great for the Hawks with so many injuries. Like who is even available for the Hawks? I did look like Jason Daniels is out. Bogdan Bogdanovic is out. DeAndre Hunter is out. Kobe Buffkin is out. Like the short rotation got even worse. So like I don't trust guys like David Roddy, Risacher, Okongwu, and like Nance, Garrison Matthews, all playing more than 20 minutes tonight. That will be rough. I may even bet on the Kings, which is insane to even think about it. But some things like yeah, I
you
need to check the numbers.
you're not a fan of
Uh,
betting against one of the teams you like?
If I know that they suck, I don't have problems betting against them.
I got
Honestly.
I got some really good advice was shared by I think it was Cleve TA who does work on the Forward Progress channel, which is the NFL content division of the Hammer, which you should absolutely check out if you're not done so already. But when betting on against your own team, that's the team you know the most about. So if you feel like you have an edge betting against your team, maybe you do because you are more in tune with that team than any other team in the league. So if you have the most information about that team and you feel like it's a good spot, then perhaps it is. It's just, can you stomach betting against your team? I don't usually do it unless it's like a really good spot that I feel like I kind of have to take. And speaking of my team, the Toronto Raptors hosting the Los Angeles Lakers today. When it comes to the Lakers playing in Toronto, I feel like we're early in the season. We're going to see all the players in action, which is exciting for people who go to these games. Typically, when the Lakers come to town, they're either on the first or second night of a back-to-back. Not actually, don't know 100% if that is the case today, but what the point I'm trying to get at is LeBron and AD oftentimes skip out on playing in Toronto, and I am pretty sure that this is the first of a back-to-back. No, actually, they have 2 full days off, so I imagine everyone will be in action for the Lakers. As a result, the spread here is 9.5 in favor of the Lakers in Toronto. A little bit of a shame there that we're seeing a spread like this just early in the season for the Raptors, but injuries will do that. Quickly, he's been out. He may be back today, but Barnes is out for 3 weeks with an eye injury. Over under for this one is at 230.5. Pips, can you give me any hope that the Raptors can keep this one competitive?
I wanted to bet over on AD. We saw how they defended Nikola Jokic, but I'm just not seeing 4 quarter minutes for AD. Yeah, I think Hornets were like kind of weird game that like RJ. I mean, Grady had insane game, and RJ was kind of playing. You watched the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, his playmaking was a bit like surprising. Like he did kind of great creating
RJ
game.
Barrett?
Yeah, yeah.
He's good,
I was a
man.
bit surprised. Yeah,
You're
he
sleeping
looked
on
real good.
RJ. He's a
Yeah,
changed man.
I was actually on his points over 21 and a half. And because it opened at 22 and a half and we had the show, I
Yeah, yeah.
spoke 20 and 10, and then later it dropped to 21 and a half. I was like, that's no brainer spot. And he 33, I think, in the end.
Yeah, what we should have done is
But
bet the 30 plus RJ for RJ and 30 plus for Grady Dick. That probably would have been
yeah, yeah,
high
that would
price,
be
but no.
insane.
Uh,
Yeah.
I, I actually did take the 20 and 10 after the show, which RJ, I mean, he kind of made it look a bit sweaty, but he ended up getting 30 plus,
Yeah, he
as you
missed so
said.
many free throws. Like I was like, what?
Oh my God! Don't
What do
get
you
me
think?
started,
What?
man. He is
Five
amazing at
from
everything
10.
except free throws now.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I had 21 and a half. He had 21, and then he, I think, missed both free throws or something, like late into the
It
fourth.
was when he had, I think, he had 17, and I think he missed both free throws, or maybe he had 18 and he missed both. But yeah, right
Yeah,
around when he was around his point line, I do
yeah.
recall he
I know
missed a
that.
bunch of free
No,
throws
that it
and
was
missed like a
close, and I
layup.
was cursing him. Like, yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
in a game like today, look, he's slashing there against the Hornets. He had a great game. He's shooting the ball really well, but this is a bit of a different beast with the Lakers defense, especially if Anthony Davis is playing. I believe I saw an update on him. I believe he's listed as probable for today's game. And again, the Lakers have 2 full days off after this, so this would be a weird spot to rest players. But just for what it's worth, Anthony Davis is listed as probable. If Anthony Davis is in, which he is expected to be, it's a really tough route for RJ Barrett to slash inside without being able to really draw him out of the paint. So not enough for me to bet this game, but it's going to be a tough day for the Raptors. I'm assuming no bets on this one.
yeah, no bets here. I'm actually trying to make something to work out with Kings money line because I think they are winning this.
Okay,
Just trying
we'll
to
go
figure
back.
out what's the thing to put together with.
Any
And
suggestions from
yeah,
the chat? What would you like to see? If you'd like to see anything in this Kings Hawks game, starting with the Kings money line on an SGP.
I'm just trying to figure out. Like I'm for sure putting in Keegan Murray,
Okay.
but I would like 12 points, but it's not open yet. So that's kind of
Yeah, 14.5. Let's see, 10.
Just
Oh, with 10 we get to minus 150. Probably find one more spot.
10 will get yeah, that's not great.
Well, no, not this alone for sure, but
Yeah.
with something else.
I was thinking maybe 2+3s, but so far this season he made 2 threes in 3 out of 4 games when he was under, so 7, 7, 10 attempts. Yeah, I think maybe that should be the play. But I don't know. Like I don't like. I have so much blowout in my mind that I'm worried to bet DeMar DeRozan or De'Aaron Fox overs because and when I have blowout concern, I usually bet the team. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, let me just go to the 10 plus points and just add something that I think has an edge, which is a bit tough to build on the spot because I didn't see the spread so low. I expected it to be higher.
That's all right.
So
This is what the show is this year. We can do
yeah,
it on the fly, on the spot.
yeah, we can open up like props madness. I can go through the stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
when then it's not blank on the screen. I do really like Huerter in this one. I don't know how he performed last season against the Hawks. Yeah, well, 7 and 8 points, which is not gonna cut it. Maybe 1 3 for Huerter. That I think he should make 1 3 at least easily, and that's -110. Yeah, so far like he came back and he scored 2, 4, and 4, like 4, 4, 2 threes. So against the Hawks, he should be in a good spot to score. They should probably put Trae Young on him. So yeah, that should be easy. So let's go with 10 plus for Keegan and 1 3 for Huerter and Kings money line
All
in
right.
this
There
one.
were some comments suggesting Sabonis rebounds. I know you're not a big rebounding better.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he did have 11, 13, 12, 8 rebounds. And last season against the Hawks, he had, but betting against Capella, he had 10 and 30, 21, 21. Man, that's 34 rebounding chances in the last game against the Hawks. That's that's a bit insane. Yeah,
That's quite a lot. Well,
yeah.
nonetheless,
We'll do it this way. So this is our second
yeah,
official bet.
you like this. You liked what we have here. So you are going to be taking Sacramento Kings on the money line. Keegan Murray to score 10 plus points and Kevin Herter 1 plus made
Like,
3.
like the last night, betting against my favorite players. Last night it was betting against Harden. He made it look real rough in the first half. Now betting against Trae Young, which is yeah, but I don't like
Well,
supporting guys. If you,
I,
if you take a look at the team, like head to head, like I mean, Trae Young is probably the best player on the court. I don't think that's even questionable there. But then you have like comparison, Zachary Risacher against DeMar DeRozan. Yeah. Then you have Kevin Huerter against David Roddy. Yeah. And then you have Keegan Murray and Jalen Johnson. Probably Jalen Johnson a bit better. And then you have like Sabonis versus Capella. Capella is washed. And the bench is better for the Kings. So like huge edge for the Kings in this one. Like out of this, all of these players on the Hawks, I would say NBA players are only two players, like Trae Young and Jalen Johnson. Capella could be maybe like backup big on some decent team, but David Roddy is not an NBA player. Zachary Risacher not yet, and Garrison Matthews and he's not an NBA player. So a lot of not non-NBA players on the team. So yeah, I do like my chances against my Hawks here. So that's
yeah,
the second one.
what's the timeline on replacing Capella? I feel like that's kind of been the thing for a while. Is Okongwu
I,
not
I
knocking on the
honestly
door?
hope they start Okongwu tonight, even though he's not good enough, but he's better
Yeah,
than Capella, I
I
think.
was definitely expecting a bigger leap out of Okongwu at this point. I think it's definitely an indictment against Okongwu to the fact that Capella like kind of clearly isn't that great, and he still hasn't taken over that
I actually
spot.
think Kongo was projected to be a starter. Then he got injured like in the preseason. I think they were
Okay.
ramping up his minutes. So probably when he's at 100%, we could see him starting. But I don't know. Like it's a wild guess.
Wild guess. All right. No worries. We do have the official play there. Once again, it was Kings money line. Keegan Murray, 10 plus points. Kevin Herter, 1 plus made threes. That was minus 110 at FanDuel. Let's go to the next game on the list of games here. Just pulling it up there. We'll skip over the Raptors we just talked about. We'll go to the Bulls and Nets. Not a classic, likely in the making here between these teams. Two of the lower seeded teams, likely in the Eastern Conference. Bulls, 1.5-point underdogs away from home. The Brooklyn Nets have been, they're projected to be the worst team in the NBA. They haven't been fantastic, but they definitely haven't been the worst team in the league. They're looking a little bit better than expected. Any thoughts on this one with Brooklyn at home?
Yeah, it's Lavin is questionable for this one. Alonso Ball is out. I think Lavin questionable shifted this towards the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay.
Uh,
He's been playing well, Zach LaVine.
yeah, he's been playing real well, and he's questionable with shoulder joint sprain, which is not a terrible injury.
Doesn't sound good,
So
no.
yeah, so if he is not playing, I lean to this being even game. If he's playing, I lean towards the Bulls. Simon starting at the 5 for the Nets. I don't think that should be a thing. I think Clarkson should get the start, but they can't play together, so they are in big trouble. Yeah, I don't know. Like they are mostly playing well because Schroeder is playing out of his mind. Like I don't know if you guys saw Schroeder, but he averaged 25, 2, and 8 while shooting 55% from the three on a ton of attempts. that's
That's not gonna sustain, but those are some ridiculous
that's I don't
numbers.
know. Like, is there any guard in the league besides Trey that's has better numbers? Like that's better than Halliburton,
These
better
may be
than Kane.
the top of the league. Well, actually, I don't know who's leading the league in 3-point percentage right now, but he's not on Basketball Reference. He's not highlighted as having the highest in the NBA.
He has
Uh,
way better numbers than
Jake,
like
I think it's
guys
Buddy
like
Hield.
Halliburton, guys like Branson, and like that's only player with better numbers. Probably, I think only point guard with better numbers is Trey Young. I think, which is kind of
Well,
absurd.
whatever it is, these are fantastic. These are unbelievable numbers. We'll see if that keeps up today. But with I think that's all for that game. We can move on to the next one: the Indiana Pacers and the New Orleans Pelicans. Pacers favored by 4.5, coming off of that big win against the Boston Celtics in overtime. The Pelicans, an interesting experiment going on with the positions right now. We talked about potentially Yves Misty at some point having to be the starter for this team, but Pelicans, after a 2-0 start, have lost 3 in a row. Where do you see this game going?
Pelicans look terrible, so I do think Pacers should win this. They did play well against the Boston. We were on the Boston side. Boston did play with their food and lost, but I do think this should be a winner for the Pacers. Miles Turner is should be back in this one, and even though he's not a super high grade player, he will help them against Zion. That's for sure. Like that's the only thing he does well, and that's protecting the rim. So yeah, I do expect it will be the weird game. I'm just trying to check some numbers last season. If I remember, yeah, we can pull up props madness for just a second and show that last game against the Pacers, Zion had 8 points. I think we actually were on him in that game, or this one when we had 23. But they were doubling him a lot. He had 13, 4 and 7 assists. Last game he had 13 potential assists, so they were doubling on him for sure in that game. So yeah, they usually don't double. They usually stay in single coverage. But with Zion, they did change that. So we'll see. The Zion line is crazy. It's at 29 and a half. for points. That's just absurd. But yeah, so many guys put great numbers on the Pacers, so we'll see how they approach to defend him. Siakam plus Turner helping could actually be a decent defense against guys like Zion.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
agree, but it doesn't look like anything particular from a betting perspective here. So we can move to the next game: Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, rematch of last season's Western Conference semifinals, where the Timberwolves shocked a slight shock, we can call it, against the Nuggets, where the Nuggets are expected to win. They didn't, and here we are: the Timberwolves -4 on this one at home. Wow, the Nuggets have looked really, really bad this season. Can you convince me why this is a 4-point spread when I feel like, I mean, I guess the Timberwolves haven't exactly set the NBA on fire, but it feels like the Timberwolves should maybe be favored by a little bit more. What do you think?
Yeah, especially at home. So yeah,
Yeah.
I won't take the straight for I won't take the his spread for the my bet, but probably will make some game parlay with the money line on the Wolves because I see it as a value spot. Uh, the Dallas, Wolves lost to Dallas, which is crazy. I watched the game and they just Kyrie just cooked them. I don't think their defense was. I think their defense was really good in that game. But if you take a look at the numbers for the Wolves, they lost to the Lakers, they lost to the Dallas, they barely won on the last possession against the Kings, and they didn't blow out the Toronto Raptors. So that's
They
actually
didn't blow them out.
yeah, that's actually not much better than the Denver Nuggets.
Okay.
So yeah, that's when you look at the rosters, like bench should run circles or the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah,
Like they will
and
have Don Dante DiVincenzo, Naz Reid, uh, with the bench unit with Nikhil Alexander Walker. Like they should have a huge edge against. Like starters should be probably close, but when the bench is in, I think Wolves should make a run. And yeah, that's where I see the edge in this one.
yeah, I like the Timberwolves in this one. I think the spread is getting a
My
bit too
official
much.
bet for this one will actually be Rudy Gobert. I
Okay.
know people will be crazy about it, but we are betting 21 and a half points rebounds over.
Okay. Gonna go to points rebounds. Rudy Gobert. What do you like about Rudy Gobert for the points rebounds here?
Yeah. Uh, just the number. When you hear like 21 and a half points and rebounds for Gobert, I think that instantly looks like that's too low. Why is it there? And when we look at the last season data, Uh, this season, when you look at it, we can see that he did struggle against Kings. He had two field goal attempts in 35 minutes because they are just playing deep drop coverage and box him out. Sabonis was just boxing him out, and he was like glued to him. And yeah, that ended up with no usage, but huge games against the Raptors. Expected one, I will say. Every big will go crazy against the Raptors, but 27 against the AD was kind of surprise. But let's look at last season and take the entire season data. He played all 82 games. I'll just use the regular season ones. So he played 72 games, but let's take a look when he played 30 plus minutes, like he will probably play tonight if it's not a blowout. We can see that he was over this line 53 out of 57 games. I will even cut down the or like outliers, like on the when he played 40 plus minutes. I don't see it tonight, but when you look like when he's playing 30 to 38 minutes, and he should play 36 minutes tonight because it's a matchup against Jokic and they need him to defend him. We can see that he was over in 40 out of 44 games with 91% clear rate and average 28.5. And that was with Towns playing. Now it's a Randall. Shouldn't be much different with Randall. Towns did rebound more than Randall, and Randall is creating more for them. So yeah, I think this would be a good matchup. Also, Denver against the Bigs really struggle. Claxton put 16 points. Jacob put 16 points. Zubat put 24. They are terrible at defending the paint. I think they are actually the worst paint defense. They are. We can see that ranked 30 in points in the paint allowed. So Denver allowed the most points in the paint. Obviously, Gobert scores all of his points in the paint. They will play hedge in the pick and rolls against Edwards, probably Jokic on the level, and that will open up a lot on the roll, on the offensive rebounds against Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. So yeah, this is a mismatch for Rudy Gobert, and he should put good numbers against Jokic. He always tries a bit harder when he plays against Jokic, so there is that as well.
So the official bet for this one is Rudy Gobert over 21.5 points plus rebounds. We have that here for minus 118 odds at the FanDuel Sportsbook. As always, for all the wagers, we recommend FanDuel for a lot of plays. Oftentimes, they will have the best in market, but always shop around for every bet that you make to get the best price. That value is important. Okay, I think we have one more game to go through here. Then we can get to some questions from the chat. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder, 4-0. At a not so great Portland Trailblazers team. The spread is 11.5 for this one. Any thoughts from you, Pips, on the game here?
Tough one. Blowout for the Thunder. That's it. Look for some unders on the Portland, but the lines are 2 to 3 points down from the season average because they expect the blowout, expect the struggle against best defense. My lean, probably, I don't know, it's up on the FanDuel, but I'll just check something because I usually do. I'll share a different screen just so I can show people.
Okay.
So one part of the process I do, it's this site. It's NBA rotation. You guys can see it on the screen.
Yeah, we have it up.
So I'll go to the Blazers and pick Tomani Kamara and just take a look. Like last game against the Clippers was a close game. He played full minutes. I'll open him on Props Madness just to check something, just to see like is he playing in the blowouts. So they lost in a blowouts against the Golden State Warriors. He didn't play in the closing minutes. Yeah, he didn't play in blowouts. So Sacramento Kings and Pelicans, this is a rotation, like every quarter. How many minutes is he playing? So you can see here that he wasn't closing in the blowouts, but did he get some run in the fourth? So out of, let's just check a game against the Kings. I think it was a blowout loss against the Kings. So let's check who is playing in the blowouts for the Portland Blazers. It's Chris Murray, Jabari Walker, Donovan Clingan, Rupert, and Rip. So yeah, none of guys that are offered in the slate are playing in the blowouts. So there is no edge on like bench guys, like young players. When I expect blowout, I usually tend to bet on like fourth guy that's a young rookie or sophomore that will get the run in the fourth. Then he is probably the main guy in there. But as we can see, as Kamara is a huge part of the Scoot Henderson and Kamara are a huge part of the rotation. They don't play in the blowouts. So yeah, that edge is not there.
All right, makes sense on that. Another good tool if for anybody out there trying to inform their own wagers as well, to look at a rotation tool like that. How heavily does that factor into your typical handicapping, would you say?
A lot. I usually use it a lot because like there is some edges that can be found. Like if you think some team is like a huge chance for a blowout, you just find the guy that usually play. Like I did that a lot of like last season with Boston Celtics with Peyton Pritchard. When I expect a huge blowout, I just bet his overs. You need to do it early because a lot of people start doing that, so the lines get screwed. But in a game, when the line got screwed and you don't think it's a blowout, you can also take the under. And yeah, there are a lot of edges that you can find knowing rotation and knowing the minutes for the guy. Like you can also notice when it was a foul trouble and some guy got the run because the other guy was in foul trouble, so his minutes are not actually what it should be. And he probably had good numbers. In the next game, you can take the under if bookies are expecting him to play those big minutes again. So yeah, there's so many stuff that you can do with NBA rotation stuff.
Great information being shared there, and hopefully we get some great information from the chat. Let's move over to the Q&A portion of the stream. Any questions, any bets you have that you're considering for today, let us know in the chat. I've already queued up a bunch from earlier on in the show, but also we'll answer some live ones as well. Blake Atkinson asked earlier on Mobley over 14.5 points or Ivy 1.5 threes. We talked about Mobley having a successful start to the season, so how do you like his matchup in this one?
I think I don't know, like who is playing at the 4 pro for the. Is it Isaac starting at the 4, like with Banchero out? I honestly don't know. Like, I mean, it's like who is going to start? Franz Wagner, maybe.
No, this is to play the Pistons.
Evan
Oh
Mobley.
wait, sorry, it's your Magic. Sorry, I'm
they're
mixing
playing
it with
Magic,
Ivy here.
so,
Yeah, you're right. Sorry,
like,
go ahead.
who is going to start at the 4 for the Orlando Magic? Like I don't know. Probably I will probably start
Probably
Isaac.
Isaac.
Yeah, but I don't know if he can play
But
great
yeah, he
minutes.
can't play heavy minutes.
So yeah, we don't know. But for the lot of the game, half the time of the game, it's probably Mobley against Isaac. So that's not a good matchup for Mobley. Especially if Franz Wagner is out, it could be a blowout. So that I don't like that over that much. Yeah, no. And on the Pistons against the Knicks, Ivy is not a great pull-up shooter yet. I mean, he did score like 2 threes in 4 games in a row, but I still don't have confidence in his shot against good defensive players. I honestly could see Anunoby on Cade and Mikal Bridges on Ivy, and when he runs with the Bechun, it's Deuce McBride. Even though Downs is on drop coverage, not a huge fan of it at minus 120.
So we have two very similar questions here. One from Michael came earlier on, asked about Jokic under rebounds and assists minus 105, and one just came in from Arthur who asked on Jokic over 26.5 points. Based on the defense that the Timberwolves will likely throw out, they'll just leave Gobert in single coverage. We saw the Raptors play Jokic in single coverage, and he put up 40 points and didn't get the assist line that we needed. But do you think you can see a similar game for Jokic here where it's more about himself getting his points?
Yeah, I do, but I'm afraid, like, if he is he going to get the chance in the 4th in this one? Like, probably, like, so over 26.5 should work.
You think the Timberwolves might blow them out here?
So there's a chance.
Okay.
The bench guys can run away. So, yeah.
It's a tight spread. I mean, I granted, I don't think the spread is accurate. It's a pretty tight spread.
If you can bet like under 8.5 assists and combine that with 25 plus points, I could see that being a value spot for the Jokic. Also, negative correlation betting one stuff over, one stuff under. It's usually not counted well in the books. Like when you bet something under and something over, they think like you are like.
They think it's negative correlation, but
yeah,
that technically, well, not tech. That probably is good correlation, which you went to a lot last season.
Yeah. So let me just check something on that game as well. You can ask more questions, but maybe I do want to build some same game parlay in this one. I'm looking at some Jokic rebounds, and yeah, he's not rebounding well. Last season against the Wolves, he didn't rebound well at all. In the playoffs, he didn't rebound. Yeah, he's not rebounding well against the Wolves somehow. So I won't include his rebounds, but I do want to include his 25 plus points. Some Wolves, Timberwolves money line, Jokic 25 plus points, and let's find something else here.
All right. Wolves money line. You wanted Jokic 25 plus points.
Yeah, we already used Gobert
Gobert.
in this one, so I don't want to get him involved here. I'm like, there is no Nas Reed and there is no Dante DiVincenzo, so I don't think I can build this one up yet. Maybe later when they add those guys.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not going to build, but I will probably want to add Nas Reed 10 plus here. Bench unit can't stop him, and there is no, it's literally no defense. Nas Reed is not up there yet. So I think with Nas Reed, addition of Nas Reed, we will have like plus 300, which is the something I like for this one.
So later on, if you're watching later on, or if you're watching live, maybe check it out later on. Something involving Nas Reed 10 plus points, Jokic 25 plus points, and the Nuggets, the Timberwolves rather, on the money
Yeah.
line. Unfortunately, not something we can make an official pick for the show, but if you have access to that, maybe in a different book or access to that on FanDuel later, perhaps something to take a look at. Good question here from Michael Berkowitz asking about the Rookie of the Year market as well. Let's take a look at the odds currently being offered up for that one. What I've noticed is that it's a little juicy right now with some of the odds being presented, but Zachary Rizache has moved into the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year award. He's at plus 450, closely followed by Zach Edey at plus 500, Dalton Knecht at plus 550. Then you've got Stephon Castle, Alex Sarr, and Bub Carrington filling out the rest of the list here. We can keep going down. You have guys like Ryan Dunn, Jamal Shed. Wow, Jamal Shed's on this list. 45th overall pick. But any thoughts for you on the current state of the Rookie of the Year race? I don't think the prices are fantastic here, but who do you think is going to lead?
When was the last time we had such terrible players on top of the rookie?
Yeah, this is a rough one. Like Jamal Shed was 45th overall pick, and he's 8th on the list here.
So far, the best out of these guys is Ryan Dunn. I don't think it's even close. Like, I don't think he's winning because his ceiling is very skewed. But so far, out of these, Ryan Dunn is the best one. I don't know if you watched the game last night. He was absolutely incredible. I'll just check his numbers. He has so they didn't add the last game, but I think he averaged like 10, 2, and 1 in shooting like over 40% from three and playing absolutely incredible defense. Like he's the best defensive player out of these guys, and he's putting great numbers and he's contributing to winning. I don't think any of these guys is contributing to winning like Ryan Dunn is, and of course numbers don't look great, but I think he's actually with 10 points a game actually leading. Who is there a rookie that averaged more points than 10?
Jamal Shed actually might be averaging more than 10 points, but and Jonathan Mobley as well. But yes, it's not been a great crop of rookies here. This season.
So I just checked. Ryan Dunn averaged 9.4 points a game in 18 minutes, and 2.2 threes made, not attempted. 2.2 threes made on 44% in 18 minutes. Like if you turn that into per 36, that's absolutely incredible. Like,
so Bub Carrington is averaging 10.5 points per game. He's currently leading all rookies. Ryan Dunn is third with 9.4 points per game. Jalen Wells is in second with 9.5. So he's
that guy could be good. Wells, he was playing great last night.
Jalen Wells.
So yeah, I think he could be like, if Bane or someone is injured for a long time, he could get a run, and he looked good. I mean, his percentage is not great, but yeah, I'm not saying he will win. Like, I don't know. Like,
but
Rob Dillingham
plus 15,000 here.
Yeah, Rob Dillingham is not getting any minutes. Dadier, not Kolek, not. Yeah, this is rough. Like this year, rookies are really rough. So I don't know. Like we'll see. Like it will be decided in the post All-Star run when these guys get more minutes on terrible teams, and who's playing the best then will win it. So absolutely incredible rookie. draft.
It might be a good year to take some pops at this market
Yeah.
because it's going to be really tough to call who wins this award. But perhaps one of them finds their footing and kicks on. I'm not sure, but top of the list here, it's very juicy. It's tough to find a valuable spot, in my opinion, on that. Snoopy Wagers comments, AD 25 plus points and Lakers win at minus 114. You were mentioning that centers are going to have good matchups against the Raptors this season. Do you like this spot here?
Sounds like a good approach. Afraid of a blowout,
Blowout.
getting AD 3 points lower. He can score 25 in 3 quarters probably against these Raptors. He's also playing the entire first, entire third. So worst case scenario, he's getting 30 minutes. He can score 25 in 30 minutes against the Raptors. That should be. I think Jokic had like even more in first 30 minutes. So I think this should be a good bet.
Decent spot. BRB comments, Zachary Rizache under 13.5 points, minus 106.
No one to score. No one to score on the Atlanta Hawks. I know it sounds weird, but he's their third best player probably offensively. Like Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, and then third scoring option is Zachary. Third scoring option against the Kings usually goes 15 plus. So yeah, I will stay away. This is 13.5 sounds like a good line usually, but in this spot, maybe they double Trae Young. So I think they should. Like this is a perfect spot to double Trae Young because no one else can score. So I do maybe think that will open up a lot for Zachary. So yeah,
Couple more,
It's a
and
shame.
then a couple more here before we wrap up the show. BRB says Zion under 35.5 points plus assists, minus 115. What do you think about Zion's matchup here today? You commented a little bit on it earlier, but what do you think about the points being involved with it as well?
you take either one of these, not together. Either
Yeah.
they put him in single coverage and then he crashes the points, or they double him and then he crashes the assists. So I don't see it how it works together. So I will probably go either points under or assist, or maybe combine points under with assist over on some lines to get good numbers. Because yeah, that's the approach. Either they double him or Zion scores 40 points. I don't see it other way. Like if they let him play single coverage, Zion is scoring 30 plus, probably easy. But if they double him, very difficult to score 30 points, and he'll then have a lot of potential assists.
And final one we'll go through today. Philip NBA asked about Brandon Ingram, 5.5, under 5.5 assists.
I don't think they double Brandon Ingram. I don't think that makes much sense. Last game against the Golden State Warriors, he had 6 assists, 11 potential assists in a blowout loss. But let's check this. This is important. Last season, when he played good minutes, regular season without CJ McCollum, I mean he did average only 5.3. So yeah, I don't know. Like maybe it's a good spot to take. Minus 5.5 assists, minus 113 at FanDuel. He also had overs against the Bulls and Jazz. So there is that. Yeah, this could be a good spot to take.
All right. There you have it. Possible good spot there. Hopefully that Q&A portion helped a little bit with some of your betting. But as for the official picks on the show, there were 3 plays that were given out. So here is the official picks recap. First of all, Karl Anthony Towns taking him over 20.5 points. Minus 120 was widely available. There was better prices available as well, so make sure you shop around. If you're watching this later on in the day, I just double-checked. FanDuel still doesn't have this one up, but they could come back up with it very, very soon. So check on that and see where the best price is for Karl Anthony Towns on his over points. Next up, in the Sacramento Kings game at the Atlanta Hawks, we're taking the Kings money line. Keegan Murray, 10-plus points. Kevin Huerter, 1+ 3-pointer made. That was -110 odds at FanDuel. Final play in the Denver-Minnesota game, Rudy Gobert over 21.5 points plus rebounds. We got that for -118 at FanDuel. Also for just my personal betting, I took the spread on the Timberwolves. I got them at 3.5 to cover 3.5 against the Nuggets. I feel like Denver's getting a bit of extra respect because of their name, but they have seriously not looked good this season, and I will try to recoup some of the money that I'm going to lose on their over on the season-long win totals because they don't look good at all, and that bet does not look good at all. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into the show. Another great week. I guess it's the first full week we had on the show. So if you did enjoy, make sure you hit the like button. And because we're doing shows every weekday morning at 9:45 a.m. Eastern time, you're getting tons of NBA content, tons of betting content, tons of free picks. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to help us on the road to 4,000 subs. Please rate and review 5 stars. And final shout out to our sportsbook partner here at the Board YouTube channel, the FanDuel Sportsbook. Thank you so much to them for being the presenting sponsor for the season. Let's have a good day, guys. We'll recap on Monday, come up with some more bets, and keep things going. We'll see you next time.